Hello and welcome. This is GBN America. I'm Nana Acquia. Now, I just want to start by saying congratulations to Donald Trump for winning the election and becoming the 47th President of the United States, the 45th and the 47th. And on his first day back, he signed a flurry of executive orders. Yes, he signed the most executive orders on day one in history. Woohoo! And did you see the smugness with which he signed them as well? Like I said, I loved him the first time round. In fact, I lost so many friends over it, but now they've all come round. On January the 20th, which is Martin Luther King Day 2025, Donald Trump was sworn in as the 47th President of the United States, marking his return to the White House after a 4-year hiatus. True to his campaign promises, Donald Trump wasted no time in wielding his executive power, signing a slew of executive orders and directives that aim to reshape American policy across various sectors. And on his first day in the White House, he's expected to begin signing executive orders as part of the 100th Order Plan. So what is an executive order? Well, it is an official directive issued by the President of the United States to run the federal government. Now, while it carries the force of the law, it does not require approval from Congress. Oh, how good is that? Trump's focus on immigration remained unwavering as he signed several orders targeting border security and immigration.
Sign executive orders. First, I'll revoke nearly 80 destructive and radical executive actions of the previous administration, one of the worst administrations in history, maybe not one of them, the worst. Anybody that would allow millions of people to pour through our borders from jails, prisons, mental institutions, insane asylums, gang members to be taken off the streets of Venezuela and deposited in our country, and many, not just Venezuela. You know, crime in Venezuela is down 74%. Because they took their criminals and gave them to us.
Trump declared a national emergency at the US border, authorizing deployment of US troops to support immigration agents. He also talked about the construction of a border wall and directed agency chiefs to resume efforts to construct it and additional barriers along the southern border. Trump reinstated the controversial policy that requires asylum seekers to wait in Mexico whilst their cases are processed. And on deportation and detention, an executive order was signed to end the practice of catch and release, potentially leading to increased deportations. Donald Trump targeted automatic citizenship for US-born children of immigrants in the country illegally and suspended the refugee settlement program for 4 months.
I will also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life. We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based.
An executive order declared that the federal government would only recognise 2 immutable sexes, male and female, and he announced the termination of all DEI, diversity, equity and inclusion programmes within the federal government. Thank God. I can remember writing monologues only 2 years ago and being slated for saying a woman does not have a penis, and our woeful leader Keir Starmer unable to define a woman. I'm so jealous of the Americans. On the climate emergency, Donald Trump's stance on climate change and energy policy saw significant reversals of the Joe Biden era of initiatives. Drill, baby, drill, and bye-bye EVs, as in goodbye. Who wants one? As a single woman, the last thing I need late at night is to run out of electricity and then have to wait 45 minutes at some innocuous garage. This was clearly designed by a man.
The inflation crisis was caused by massive overspending and escalating energy prices, and that is why today I will also declare a national energy emergency. We will drill, baby, drill.
One of Trump's first actions was to sign documents formally withdrawing the US from the Paris Climate Agreement, repeating a move from his first term. Common sense has finally returned. Why would you want to make yourself poorer? In the UK, we've got Mad Miliband paying wind farmers millions not to turn.
The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.
No, The answer is not blowing in the wind, Ed. Trump declared a national emergency, promising to fill strategic oil reserves and ease regulations on oil and natural gas production, and he terminated the Green New Deal, which halted funding for Joe Biden's green initiatives, including measures from the Inflation Reduction Act. There were several orders aimed at reshaping the federal government and its workforce, and a new advisory body led by Elon Musk was created, aimed at cutting government costs, an office for efficiency.
This one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you. My heart goes out to you.
Some say that Elon did a Nazi salute, and twice I say it's the desperate left clutching at straws. Really? They had a rabbi on up there. He didn't look bothered because it wasn't a Nazi salute, but the papers are full of it, and there are numerous pictures of politicians doing something very similar. It's ridiculous. And God, I wish this would happen in the UK. A return to the office mandate. Federal workers, so that would be like civil servants here, were ordered to return to in-office work, ending remote work arrangements. Trump also renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America and said that he was taking back the Panama Canal because America gave it to Panama and, in his view, the Chinese have taken it over. And that he would revert Alaska's Denali back to Mount McKinley. And something that was clearly close to his heart, an order was signed to end what Trump called the weaponization of government against political adversaries.
So this is January 6th. These are the hostages. Approximately 1,500 for a pardon.
Yes.
Full pardon.
And he pardoned 1,600 supporters arrested in connection with the January 6, 2021 Capitol riots. What a guy. As Trump settles into his second term, it's clear that his administration intends to move swiftly to undo many of the policies implemented during the Biden years. The coming days and weeks are likely to see further executive actions and policy shifts as the new administration works to implement its agenda. The rapid pace and broad scope of these executive orders have already sparked debate and controversy. Many of these actions are expected to face legal challenges, and their long-term impact remains to be seen. But what is certain is that Donald Trump's return to the White House has ushered in a period of significant policy change across multiple fronts of American governance. Back in the UK, a shaky Labour government led by Sir Keir Starmer must be quaking in their boots after the insipid things that they've said about Donald Trump, and that's to put it mildly. Let's have a look at the UK and US relationship and what some prominent Labour politicians have said previously about Donald Trump. In 2023, Sir Keir Starmer compared the Conservative Party to Mr Trump, accusing the Tories of straying far from the values championed by Winston Churchill. He criticised what he described as an entitlement to power, totally unchecked to any sense of service or responsibility, calling it the cultural stain that runs through the modern Conservative Party. Sir Keir added, "These aren't Churchill's Tories anymore. If anything, they behave more like Donald Trump. They look at the policies of America and want to bring that here." But in 2017, David Lamy, our now Foreign Secretary, went further. He called Mr Trump a racist and a neo-Nazi sympathising sociopath. Absolutely terrible. On what basis could he possibly call him that? An utter disgrace. Mr Lamy wrote, "He is also a profound threat to the international order that has been the foundation of Western progress for so long." Good luck with your negotiations with Donald Trump, David. Angela Rayner, the Deputy Prime Minister, has been openly critical of Mr Trump on multiple occasions in posts shared on X. During the Capitol Hill riots in 2021, she tweeted, "The violence that Donald Trump has unleashed is terrifying, and the Republicans who stood by him have blood on their hands." In 2017, Mr Streeting called Trump an odious, sad little man in a post on X. Imagine being proud to have that as your president, he added. And Lord Mandon, who has been appointed ambassador to the US, called Trump a danger to the world, and he called him nothing short of a racist. He did not attend the inauguration party on Friday hosted by Nigel Farage in Washington DC, even though he had been invited in an effort to help build bridges with key members of the Trump team. It is quite possible that Mandelson's credentials could still be rejected, a source said. There are serious concerns about his links to China. Lord Mandelsson has been a strong advocate of close trading and other ties with China, even penning an article in 2018 warning that Mr. Trump's antipathy to China was putting free trade at risk. So let's see how well the UK government handle the special relationship and whether they can work in the best interests of the British people rather than putting their egos first. I'm not holding my breath. Thank you for watching. This has been Nana A Queer. Don't forget to subscribe to the GB News YouTube channel for more.